All right, everybody, what up, man? Feeling refreshed right now. I just came out the washroom, so vibes feeling nice. Hey, I got a question before I get into the meat of this video. Have anybody ever well, due to the circumstances of which I'm under, kind of warrants me to engage in certain things when it comes to uh, practically everything from eating, cleanliness and whatnot. For those who've been following me already know what my daily habitation is. You dig me? Other than that, I just came out the washroom, like I said, or uh, not the washroom, but the bathroom rather. Uh, and what I did is I washed my feet. Sometimes, most of the times you may catch a lot of Muslim brothers, especially those brand new coming up in the religion, you know, doing that. They wash their hands, they wash their face, and not just the hands from all the way up to the elbows, maybe the whole arm, from the kneecaps down to the shin bone, all the way down to the toes. And it's you can do that throughout the day or once or twice during your work period, where you may take a quick 15-minute break, and I find that it's very relieving. Like, some people may think, yo, he just talking that don't really mean anything. But trust me, go ahead and give it a try. Something about it, and even if it's like a state of mind, then so shall it be. But I know one thing, it surely got to contribute to something if we can do these things on a daily basis, especially living in a filthy place like New York City, where there's many air things that are polluting the air that's microscopic and we just can't see, right? Many things are transparent. However, we got knowledge of it, which is kind of baffling in a way, right? Some things you can't see, but science could prove it to be so. And due to certain things that may have become repetitious, we say, hey, you know what? Look at the buildup of this or the saturation of this and that, and then we deem it to be true. And so, look, I say you can't see the air, but you can sure enough feel it. All right? You can't see radio waves, you can't see microwaves, but you can sure enough hear it. When you got that, remember when you used to sit next to your computer and you got them speakers on you jamming and that phone call come in? What happened? You get that buzzing before that call actually hits your phone, right? You got music pumping out of the stereo, especially from FM radio stations. That's radio waves. You can't see that, but you can sure enough hear it. When we tune in, y'all, and we get more like in tune with our senses and we get more clean, many things start to come to you. And I actually said this. I said this to a brother the other day. I said, because we got a little bit heavy on talking about the creator and of course talking about things that's affecting humanity. And I told the brother, I said, yo, listen to the music that's playing through these speakers right now. Now, the music came from, of course, men and women that put together a beat, and they vocalized their feelings over the beat and produced and composed a song. And it's playing on the radio, and we can hear it. They speaking to us through their lyrics. I said, now, when you're dealing with people whose connection to the creator, when their connection is severed, as if they became lobotomized or their pineal gland is calcified, which is a lot of people starting to get hip to, they really can't hear the message. They can't get those. They're not on that frequency, which means they can't tune in to when the Most High is speaking to us. So how many people know how to reach that frequency? How can you tune yourself? You dig me? You can tune that radio station to Hot 97, 105.1. You know what I'm saying? 107.5. You can tune into that, but how many people could tune in to when the creator is talking to us and trying to say, including myself, we can go into many things. but I know I'm not tripping because there's many things that came to me. It blew my mind, and I know that I'm tuned into something because the old me would not. I wasn't nowhere near or like on the level that I'm on today as far as what's coming to me, knowledge wise and consciously, in fact. And like it's real deal, y'all. It's real deal. However, there are a lot of things that we are battling with that continue to distort that frequency from coming in, and we receiving it, which will, when as we receive it, and it's becoming digested into the total mind, body, and soul, is now to be deemed imputations by the Creator. But anyhow, look, man. The main reason for coming for this video is just to drop something in real quick because it's been quite a while since I actually said anything. Uh, I would have to say this: there's a lot of people wondering what's taking place, not just with me, but of course with everything that's going on nation-wise and I believe tribal, right? I would like to believe and give the benefit of the doubt that more of my people, in particular, those of the Yados family, is becoming more knowledgeable of their tribes and the importance of family and building like that. But I can see that there's still much more work to do. However, just upon me and my journey right now in my walk, I can still see where I'm being. It's like I'm being. Everyone's being tested, but it's like, how could I put this? How could I? It almost seems like I'm being. You know what? I kind of feel like I'm holding myself back because of some things that I'm not doing based on what I receive. So here I am, trying to actually gain balance in my life, and with reaching that true level of balance, uh, really have to deal with understanding and understanding, and in part, yes, overstanding some things, because in overstanding, you're now becoming a master of certain things. Now, these words or concepts is not to be bragged about and try to be all fluffed up. It's just to give some wording edgewise to kind of perhaps shift your paradigm and shift your perception upon some things as you continue to go through your own experiences. And I would only hope that a lot of people out there are finding time, whether you have, I know a lot of you out there got kids, and there's so much to do within the day because that work. This is why New York City is now trying to work on implementing that new law to cut down the work hours for people, so they can tend to more family duties and activities. And like I said before, I don't. It seems like this is like we're waiting, or many people, in fact, who's just not on the level, is waiting for the government to do this, that, and the third to continue to dictate their lives. There are some people that's ahead of the curve. There are some people that's ahead of that. They are steps ahead, rightfully and respectfully so, whether they work for the government or not. However, if they do work for the government, we need to stop quit. Like, yo, there's so many things, man. I mean, we get so caught up with all these spookisms, and the minute you hear somebody work with the police or work with the feds or this and that, you want to label them, you want to judge them, rather than to know their story. And in hearing their story, you know what? Wait a minute, let me back up a little bit because this just hit me. Because I've been learning that when I get to learn myself more and getting in tune with nature, before I look to speak on people or about people, the more I get to learn self and things that's taking place out here in the universe, in nature, I become more discerning, as to the point where I can hear someone talking and I can like what do you call it? I make an assessment, and I can make some evaluations, and I can predict some things as well, because there are a lot of things out here that's like a norm. You know what I'm saying? Like it just comes and goes, and I don't, I'm not putting that in a bad sense. It just is what it is. It's quite, natural in a way, and that word natural is you know, natural is what a word that is, because we can use that word ambiguously, right? However, um, I can hear and make some distinctions. So the importance of learning self is so, and then learning self as within, so without, right? Draw a circle, put a dot in the middle of it, and that dot is you. Whatever's in your circumference represent you. However, your energy field now, which is either minute or large, which can be amplified by knowledge, will circumscribe, will be circumscribed by you, if you can catch my drift. So there's much work to do, y'all. There's much work to do. When I say, a lot of us, especially my AOS family, we have been affected by an arrested development concept due to having been affected by intergenerational traumas, to the point where we are still, a lot of people are fearful and docile. And so now to break those curses is difficult, because it's like you have to do it for people. And it's like that, it just can't, we got to help each other, yes. But it's like that saying, you can lead a person or a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So in essence, you can share your story, you can give quotes, you can draw, all kinds of, you could draw pictures, you can, so many things you can do, but it will have to take the person to go ahead and make that step, that further step. You know what I mean? To turn that knob and go through a door. So, and it could be done. In fact, it's ordained. It's ordained. Because if it's not so, then the words like divinity becomes null and void. Fact or not. So, I know there's a lot of things that we're dealing with, and I, I'm not gonna get everything my way, and we'll never get things our way all the time. But there is some things that I've been thinking about, and I wanted certain things to happen, and I still can't get it to this day. As to the point where I can get people to talk to me directly, or even comment on behalf of some of the content that I put out, to even and I'm like, wow, check that out, and I guess it's gonna be what it's gonna be until I can see how there is an opposing force that is manipulating people and things to get their way, to get its way. I would have to say, meaning when I say its way in a force, it's like, let's say we was to draw on a piece of paper a line down the middle, and you got this side, you got the left and the right side. So the left side is considerably the dark side, and the right side is the light side, right? Two different forces. However, opposites attract, they say, right? And now you have the law of duality. So you have yin and yang. So I see how a lot of things has been conceptualized. However, a lot of things that we deal with in life has been misconstrued, in fact. And I think because the forces know what I have within, and that I'm looking to uh, kind of like totally reconstruct and reform what's taking place in humanity, which is a huge job. Huge job. It knows, so I'm being tested every day, immeasurably. From the minute I open my eyes from when I go to sleep, even when I sleep, I may have a dream that bugs me out. There's times where I woke up in the middle of the goddamn night from a wet dream that came out of nowhere with girls that like I ain't never seen before. And some I haven't even thought of for years. I'm like, yo, I'm waking up like, yo, what? So it's real deal, man. It's real deal, man. And I'm gonna go ahead and continue to do what I do. I appreciate the patience of everybody, and I've been patient with y'all too. Oh, don't think it's a one way. Oh no, don't think it's a one way trip. I mean, don't think it's a one way thing. Because I know every time I go deep or I go heavy, it gets quiet, as if the as if the situation just flat. Not the situation, but just the it's just that things go flatline when I start to get real and I start to get deep into things. Because what happens when I go there, I get passionate and then I start to get loud. Because now many things start like I get barraged with a whole bunch of truisms that begins to hurt. That's why it takes a great deal for anyone who in the truth to continue to maintain their sanity. When you're knowledgeable, when you know some very irrefutable truths and you have wisdom, that shit ain't easy to withhold. Now you can share it, but that's a skill set too in which you would have to disseminate what you know. Because you gotta know how to do it in levels. Everybody just won't grasp it. So it's like a transformer, right, of a house. You gotta know when to reduce it, know when to amplify it. Right? Who would be receptive to the energy in the way that you articulate yourself, and who won't be da 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 da. You know, and lastly, as I close, I just want people to know, listen to me closely. Do not think for 1 second, even if it may appear that I'm being used, in which we're all being used. Don't think that I fear anybody or anything. Like some, come on, man. I can feel it in the air sometimes, man. Like some people be looking at me like, yo, what is he doing, man? Like what's going through his mind? And da 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 da. And I would have to say this before you go ahead and you think what you think, even though you can see what you see, just on the appearance. Talk to a brother. Ask me a simple question. I mean, do I look uh like I would bite somebody, man? Like do I look horrendous? Do I look like I'll be ready to knock off heads? I doubt it, man. So, I'm gonna let the record speak as well. Uh for those who've been following, time certainly tells. As I always say, the ends always justify the means. Um And there's some things that some people out here will just never understand because that's just life. Some people are not. There are different circles out there, and there's different levels to this thing. As to the point where I can say this, some people are allowed. Okay, simply put, there are some people in this world that have more of an allowance than me, than you, than her, than he. Why? Because they have reached certain places spiritually to where they are allowed to indulge and do certain things that you just can't. And I'm not talking about doing anything that's horrific, doing anything that's extremely defiling, to do something that's like demoralizing. However, due to the amount of complexities and how things can seem paradoxical, some people just won't get it. I know there's some people trying to figure out this whole thing, including myself, and in part, yes. But I'm coming to understand and understand like, hey man, I gotta do me because at the end of the day, as much as I could look to please my father, my mother, my family, my neighbor, whoever, there's nothing that can mount to pleasing the creator. Because we may all have a relationship with one another. Yes indeed. A family is oh man, family is a wonderful thing. But at the end of the day, and every morning when we get up, who do we pray on to? That's the real connection we need to establish. Judge not, lest she be judged, right? So the Bible do have some truth in it. I get it. And I said it many times before. The Bible have truths. And there are some people, we just gotta work on becoming more knowledgeable and just decoding. Respectfully so. There's nothing wrong with that word, to decode. Sorry if it may have a negative connotation or any way, or you interpret it that way. Certainly don't mean it. Don't mean for it to come out or for it to be that way. No way. To be honest, I even hate the fact that I dislike the fact that when it comes to scriptorial work, scriptorial literary work, is that it's associated with negativity. That's bogus. That's bogus to me because that's supposed to be of the divine. I'm talking about any book, in fact. You dig me? It just don't make no sense. So we got a lot of work to do, and as I said before, we need to do our best to do away with a lot of fears and just get right with self and to stop indulging in certain things that's continuing to really dehumanize who we are. Okay? So peace, love, and light. Thank you for tuning into this video. Until next time, have a good one. All the best. Peace.